Happy New Year, everybody. I know this video is quite late. I honestly didn't think it would take me damn near a month to get all of these Yu Yu Hakusho videos out, but I've been going through some personal stuff. We don't need to get into that. The video's here. The final, semi-unfinished arc of Yu Yu Hakusho. I wish it was fleshed out a little bit more, but regardless, I hope you enjoy the recap. Following his fight with Sensui, Yusuke can't help but feel that there's unfinished business in the demon realm between him and the person who took over his body to win that fight. Unable to shake this feeling, he goes to Genkai for help, who gives him the address of someone more qualified to give advice in this situation, the first spirit detective, Kuroko Sato. So, Yusuke takes a little road trip, and after a friendly greeting from her children, Kuroko introduces herself to her expected guest. She offers her hospitality to him, and before he can share any real details about why he's visiting, they are paid a visit by 3 strangers. The S-Class demon Hokushin says he and his 2 A-Class subordinates have come from Demon Realm via an organic device that has suppressed their spirit power, allowing them to pass through the barrier protecting the human realm. The 3 say they have come on behalf of Yusuke's forefather, who wants him to return to Demon Realm to succeed him.
Please explain.
Gladly. His forefather, Toshin Raizen, is one of 3 demon kings who has been vying for absolute power in Demon Realm for the past 500 years. At a stalemate with the other 2 supremely powerful demon kings. Though demons feast on humans for sustenance, Raizen has sworn off eating humans for 1,000 years, and has been weakening ever since. With Raizen on the verge of death, the balance of power in Demon Realm is set to shift, but if Yusuke can increase his power, he may be able to stand up to the other kings, and save his father's country from being taken over.
Yes, the Demon Realm has countries.
Then, after Hokushin beats Yusuke in a fight, even with his power suppressed to D-Class, the delinquent is shown just how much he still has to learn. Hokushin is fiercely loyal to his king, and he notes that Yusuke is a lot like him. Then the 3 depart, giving the youngster a week to make his decision on his future. Kuroko then appears, and encourages Yusuke to leave for the Demon Realm, being that he was able to stand in front of demons that eat humans, and accept them, and Yusuke, seeing her point, apologizes for his intrusion, and leaves.
She was approached by a Grim Reaper recently who ordered her to kill Yusuke, but she refused.
Elsewhere, Kurama receives a message from an old ally of his, one of the 3 demon kings, Yomi, who asks for his aid in surpassing his 2 rivals. Hiei then also appears, and watches the message he received from Mukuro, another one of the kings, who asks for his help in defeating Yomi once Raizen passes. Soon after, Yusuke meets with Keiko to tell her of his demon kin blood, and that he plans on heading to the Demon Realm, but asks the love of his life to wait 3 years for him, though she's less than pleased with his decision. Then, Yusuke heads to Genkai's place where all his other friends have gathered to say their goodbyes, and Kuwabara, who has become quite the scholar of late, is fuming at his decision. Though when Koenma informs him that the extermination order on Yusuke courtesy of King Yama is still active, Kuwabara begins to understand. The Special Defense Force then arrive to open a path to Demon Realm for Yusuke to leave through, as per King Yama's orders, being that he is too dangerous to remain in the human realm. Then, he says goodbye to his friends who have helped him so much along the way, and jumps into the Demon Realm, where he is instantly met by Hokushin.
Kurama and Hiei are going later, I guess?
After 5 days of non-stop running, Yusuke reaches his forefather's tower, and he quickly discovers the enormous gap in power between him and his grumpy old ancestor. Raizen, with only 1 year left to live, says he will answer his questions when he grows strong enough, and so Yusuke resigns himself to training for the foreseeable future. Oh my god, my eyes, I can't even look at it. My eyes! Just hit the subscribe button if you're here. What do you have to lose?
What do you, how do you, where do you?
99+%, oh my god. That's a disgrace. Oh, like and comment too, that would help. Elsewhere, in Mukuro's castle, Hiei fights against 500 A-Class demons in her underground ring, and disposes of all of them. Having passed the test, Mukuro then brings one of her strongest warriors to face him, and it turns out that his opponent, Shigure, is the very man who implanted his Jigan Eye.
Flashback time.
Hiei had the Jigan Eye implanted to help him find 2 things. One was the place of his birth high in the sky called the Land of Glaciers, where he was cast out as a baby just for being born a boy. The second was his Hiroi Stone, which is the crystallization of the tear his mother shed when he was born. Though Hiei found the Land of Glaciers some time ago, and lost his desire to exact his revenge upon its inhabitants when he arrived, instead learning that he has a twin sister, and so he made it his mission to find her. After he found Yukina, and before he returned to the demon realm, she gave him her Hirui stone, and told him to give it to her brother should he find him, with no idea that he's standing right before her. Now, though it's not his own, with a Hirui stone in his possession, Hiei is ready to die, having accomplished all his goals, and he trades blows with Shigure, as both of them meet their end. Though Mukuro does not allow him to die, and shares that she is in possession of his Hirui stone, then as his wounds recover, she keeps her promise, and reveals herself to him. 2 months after Hiei and Yusuke arrived, Kurama also enters the demon realm, and joins his old ally Yomi's war council, where he shares his belief that within 6 months, each king's right-hand man will be replaced by someone whose power rivals their king. Yomi then takes Kurama to his prison, where he introduces him to the demon who stole his eyesight 1,000 years ago, who Yomi has now discovered was ordered to attack him by Yoko Kurama. And though Kurama planned on this trip to be a short one, when Yomi indirectly threatens his mother's life, he has no choice but to accept his former deputy's offer to be his advisor. So, Yomi allows Kurama to return to the human realm under surveillance, in order for him to work on training the 6 powerful fighters he promised to add to his army. These 6 fighters are all former foes from the Dark Tournament, and they spend the next 6 months training to the max at Genkai's place. And as promised, after 6 months, they are brought before Yomi, and all boast a spirit power over 100,000. Yomi rewards Kurama by making him his right-hand man, which enrages his former number 2, Shachi, who meets his end, after he attempts to kill his successor out of hatred. After almost a year since Yusuke first returned to Demon Realm, he is now powerful enough to defeat Hokushin and the other sage priests at once, and so he heads off to challenge his forefather once again. Though this time, Raizen goes berserk, his hunger finally overcoming him, but after he nabs a small bite out of Yusuke, he calms down. He then tells Yusuke of an era where there was no barrier between the human and demon realms, where he ran amok as a known man-eater. Though after he met a remarkable woman who healed him, he fell in love, and from then on, Raizen vowed to never eat a human until he saw her again, though she died in childbirth soon after. Raizen then tells his son to be wary of Yomi, whose ambitions stretch outside the demon realm, and after he leaves Hokushin and the rest of his subordinates in his care, the Mazoku passes away. Immediately following his death, Yusuke has Hokushin show him to Yomi's city, Gandhara, where he meets with the king to share his proposal. He brings out a mountain of stones with names inscribed on them, and suggests they hold a martial arts tournament for all of Demon Realm, with the winner becoming the leader. After Mukuro, who had been eavesdropping along with Hiei nearby, agrees to the youth's idea, Yomi is essentially forced to agree as well, and the news quickly spreads throughout the realm. With news of Raizen's death also having spread, his old fighting buddies visit his grave to pay their respects, and announce to his descendant that they too will join the tournament.
They're incredibly strong.
100 days later, the tournament is set to begin, with thousands of demons participating, each with an equal chance at ruling the realm. Theoretically, the preliminaries will take place in blocks, with only 128 participants out of thousands making it through the first round.
Oh, Koto from the Dark Tournament is commentating again, if anyone gives a fuck.
As the preliminaries begin, most of the noteworthy fighters come out on top, with just Chu losing out to Raizen's old fighting buddy Natsume, and Shura, Yomi's recently cloned and already extremely powerful son, losing out to his father in a heated battle. When the first round concludes, Yusuke makes a speech about how he hopes the winner decides to hold the tournament again every few years to decide the realm's leader, much like an election. Thus, the knockout phase of the Demon Realm Unification Tournament begins. Yusuke and Hokushin win their respective matches. Then all of the fighters recruited by Kurama from the Dark Tournament lose out, as Raizen's old fighting pals have more tricks up their sleeves than anyone expected. After checking in on his mother in Human World,
What fucking cell provider does he have?
Kurama prepares for his first one-on-one fight of the tournament, against Shigure.
He had his head sliced off before. I don't know how he's still alive.
Though before the fight, Yomi approaches him, and the two seem to make peace with each other, despite all their bad blood, as Yomi himself has changed leading up to this tournament, no longer desiring to rule, but content to simply test his strength. Kurama's fight then begins, and Shigure's sword proves too much for his human body, thus he transforms into Yoko Kurama, but he quickly reverts back. determined to win without that form. He then revives the fossilized tree they've been fighting atop, and with its plethora of roots at his disposal, he manages to push Shigure to concede the match. The next fight takes place between Hiei and Mukuro, two kindred spirits, with a similar background. Mukuro is able to slice through Hiei's Dragon of the Darkness flame to defeat him, and after the fight, Mukuro's chains, and the hatred they represented, are broken. In the fourth round, Yusuke is pitted against Yomi, and though he recognizes he's no match for his opponent, he still gives it his all, and his display of energy even gives the other contestants a boost. After Yusuke takes a strong punch from Yomi, he stays down, as he begins to ponder what he's still fighting for, whilst Yomi continues to pound away at him. But after some encouragement from his forefather's voice, he counterattacks, and when his demon blood starts to manifest itself, Yomi finally gets the fight he's been looking for. Yusuke mixes his demon energy with his human energy, and the two exchange fierce hand-to-hand blows, but for the first time in a tournament, he's unable to defeat his opponent. He awakens a week later in the hospital, just in time to see Raizen's old friend Enki announced as the tournament's winner. Enki declares that they will hold the tournament again in 3 years, and establishes only one law as the Demon Realm's new ruler. No trouble is to be caused to the human realm. Oh yeah, you'd probably like to know that Yomi lost in his next fight, then left on a journey to make his son stronger than Yusuke, and Mukuro lost in the semifinals against Enki. So, Kurama and Yusuke say goodbye to their friends, and prepare to make their way back home. Hiei tells Kurama he'll remain in the Demon Realm, and asks him to give the Hirui Stone to Yukina, and tell her that her brother has died, but Kurama refuses, saying he should tell her himself when the time comes. Yusuke is then met with Koenma, and the two say their goodbyes to each other, and Yusuke continues his farewell trip by visiting Raizen's grave and saying goodbye to his forefather, as well as Hokushin and the Sage Priests, though he plans to return when the tournament comes around again in 3 years' time. Back in Human World, 2 years after Yusuke's departure, Kurama informs Kuwabara of all that happened, as well as the fact that the periphery between the human and demon worlds has been lifted, with a sort of gentleman's agreement in place.
That sounds safe.
Hiei is part of the patrol team that ensure humans that wander into the demon realm are sent back, with their minds wiped. Kurama and Kuwabara then meet up with Keiko and Shizuru to head to Genkai's place, and there they meet Yukina, though Yusuke is still nowhere to be seen, as he supposedly has some loose ends he needs to tie up. Botan and Koenma do show up, however, and Genkai tells them the reason she summoned them there. She says that she will leave her estate in their hands when she passes away, with her wish that it be used as a refuge for demons. The ladies, Kurama and Kuwabara, then head to the beach to enjoy the sunset, and Keiko screams at the top of her lungs that she's tired of waiting for Yusuke. With perfect timing, our favorite delinquent shows up from out of nowhere, and his childhood friend jumps into his arms and shows him how much she's missed him. Finally, the group enjoy a laugh together once more, with Yusuke seemingly ready to lead a somewhat normal life. Finally, Yu Yu Hakusho, Chapter Black. Wait, this isn't Chapter Black. Finally, Yu Yu Hakusho, the Three Kings Saga, the entire series has been recapped. We made it. We're here. We're entering an action-packed season of 2024 anime, and I intend to schedule my videos this year better than any other year before. So expect more videos, better videos, and different kinds of videos as well. With that being said, if you have any suggestions of what you want to see on the channel, let me know down below. Let me know what you thought of this final arc of Yu Yu Hakusho. I know it's a little bit controversial. But with that being said, I love you all. Take it easy. Happy New Year once again. And peace.